Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jade. I'm a fourth year medical student and I just submitted my rank list. Not only submitted it, but I certified it, which basically means it is set in stone on March 5th. Whenever program directors go in and submit their list, the match does its thing and that's it. It's really, really overwhelming, really exciting. I don't really know how I feel. I feel excited because I feel really confident in the programs that I put in my top 3, my top 5, basically all of the programs that I ranked. I could see myself there. I think I would be really happy there. But it's also so scary because I have no idea where I'll be on March 21st. I am just reflecting back and thinking about literally everything that led me up to this point, going through application season, doing all the interviews, going to second looks, now submitting the rank list. And I'm just thinking back to prior to this recruitment application season, if I were to have made a rank list back in August of last year, how that would look compared to the rank list that I just submitted. And I think it would be astronomically different. And so I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about ideals that you have coming into application season and then things to think about, especially when you are putting together your rank list. So before I came into application season, I talked about this in a previous video, but I had specific priorities that were very specific to me. So I knew I wanted to apply to places based on where they were located. If a program was located in a really desirable location, I would look at those programs and see what they have to offer. I also knew that I wanted to be in a place that was super diverse. So I kind of picked programs based on where they were, the patients that they served, and how much community outreach they had. Those were some of my main priorities. The things that I did not think about were how many residents have moved from the same place that I've moved from. So if people were coming from the East Coast to say the Midwest or to the West Coast, how is that transition? Do they take a lot of applicants and end up matching applicants that are from the opposite coast? Or do they kind of match people who are just in their geographic location? And then everyone tells you, look at the residents. Do they look happy? Are they overworked? And I will say a lot of those things are really hard to tease out over the virtual interview. But what I will say is there were some residents that I just didn't vibe with at all. So I ended up not ranking those programs. And I think those were just things I didn't really think about prior to coming into application season and interview season, where if I find out I'm not vibing with the residents, is that enough for me to not rank a program? And I think that, along with a lot of other factors, like just not really vibing with the faculty or not thinking that they have the resources that I would like to propel me in my career, all of those kind of played a role in the programs that I ended up not ranking. But I think really taking a look at, are these residents the type of people that I want to spend 80 hours a week with? Because ultimately that's what you end up doing in residency, right? Like your co-residents are your people, and programs are always gonna pull in similar residents. Like they have a specific type of person vibe, things that they're looking for. And yes, all programs are diverse. Everyone has different interests, but a lot of the times it's the culture of the program, and you can get that through interacting with the residents. And I think something else that kind of came through during interview season was that although a program might have a really great name, it doesn't mean that it is the program for you. Just because they are ranked very highly, just because they are in a desirable location and they're a huge academic center, does not mean that that program is for you. And I think that if I were to make my rank list at the beginning of application season, I would have put a lot of emphasis on names, location, what faculty work there, if they're big names in their field, all of those things that, yes, can really help you in your career. But what I realized is that some of those programs just were not a great fit for me. They can have all of the resources, all the big names, they can be a huge academic center in the most desirable place. But if you don't feel like it is your home, that's kind of where my perspective started to shift throughout the interview season. I got really excited when I found a place that is in a great location, diverse patient population. I really love the program director. I vibed with all of the residents, and I felt like they have the resources that will make me successful successful, and the faculty seem so invested in the residents. And so I think that's another thing, is like when you interview with a faculty member, are they asking you what you are really passionate about? Are they asking in what ways can they help you to achieve your goals? Or are they only asking you, how are you going to make our institution better? Or are they only telling you about the resources that they have without really tailoring it to what's important to you? I definitely had interviews where program directors were just kind of giving me an info session on the things that they had to offer. And while I appreciated that, I want to learn everything there is about the program, a lot of it was not super relevant to me because it's not in my buckets of interest. And so I think that's really important when you're talking to faculty, is getting a sense for, are they really looking into what's important to you and how they can help you get there? Because I think that ultimately is what's going to make you successful, right? Is having mentors that can help you get to where you need to be. And I feel like I just really felt at home with those programs. And I feel very excited about working with these faculty and having them as prospective mentors. And then the last thing that I really did not know prior to going into interview season is that a ton of programs have unionized. And so if you're applying to a program and the place has unionized, usually they have like a benefits tab on their website. So I would really go through, look at those benefits, look at the things that come with the union, because a lot of programs have some wild union benefits like Uber Eats, or you can get free Uber rides, you get a ton on your meal card, a lot of like parental, maternity, fertility stuff, extra days off. Like there's a lot that can come with union benefits. So definitely look into those. And those did play a role in the programs that I was looking at, you know, and how the salary increase was for the cost of living in said area. And so I definitely didn't know which programs did and didn't unionize prior to open houses, but I really appreciated when there was an open house that the programs talked about their union, talked about their benefits, and said how this is going to benefit you if you're a resident when you come here. So those were all things that I didn't really think about when I was going into the season. And now that I'm reflecting, I'm like, wow, if I were to now prioritize all of the things that I think are important for me to be successful in residency, they're different than what they were prior to starting this process. So everyone who is getting ready to apply or is just going to start going to information sessions or open houses or doing all of their research, just be open to the fact that your mind will change. Your perspective on being a resident will change as time goes on. And so don't pick a program and say, this is my number one program, this is my top program, I am unable to budge. Because I think that might lead you to going somewhere that maybe isn't the best fit for you. And even if you do choose a program and you end up matching there and it is the best fit for you, I think still having an open mind and learning about all these other programs as well can be super beneficial. And for me, I ended up putting a program as number 2 that I legitimately was not going to apply to. So just keep your mind open and have so much fun when you apply. Once you get to this point, it is such a relief. I feel like now there's nothing I can do. It's out of my hands. It is in the hands of the match. So if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. We are creating such a beautiful community. Every single time I see this channel grow, I get so excited. I love sharing my life with you guys. I love sharing all these steps up to becoming a resident. It's kind of crazy. I remember being a pre-med and trying to figure out how to get into medical school. And once I got to med school, trying to figure out just how to be a good med student. And now it's figuring out, how am I going to be a doctor? How am I going to best treat patients? How am I going to move forward in my career? And it's a really fun journey. So I'm happy you guys are here. I hope you stay along for the ride. And until next time.